Hi class, and welcome to the last lesson for Unit 2, which is Lesson 2.6, the Statement of Earnings. So what kind of deductions are taken out of your paychecks? So you have net pay. You may have additional deductions taken from your gross pay for union dues, contribution to community funds, savings plans, and retirement account contributions. The earnings statement attached to your paycheck lists all of your deductions, your gross pay, and your net pay for the pay period. Remember, your net pay is the amount of money you have left after your employer subtracts all tax withholdings and personal deductions from your gross pay. It is sometimes called net income or take-home pay. So again, to find your net pay, you take your gross pay and you subtract your total deductions. So let's look at example 1. Angela Moore's weekly salary is $600. She is married and claims 3 allowances. The Social Security tax is 6.2% of the first $97,500. The Medicare tax is 1.45% of gross pay. Just a little side note, remember in 2020, this is now $137,700, but for this problem, we will use the old amount. Okay, so the state tax is 1.5% of gross pay, and each week she has $28.40 deducted for medical insurance and $5 for charity. Is Angela's earnings statement correct? Okay, so this is a really good practical application that you guys are going to be doing in your real life. You should always look at your pay stub every single time you get paid to check to see are all my deductions correct. So do I have the correct federal income tax coming out? Does my state tax look correct? How about my insurance? Okay, Social Security, Medicare. Is there anything else coming out? I know, for example, when I had a part-time job dealing blackjack, I had a Christmas fund. So I had $25 taken out of every paycheck, and then I got a lump sum in November to go Christmas shopping with. So I always make sure when I look at my income or at my pay stub that everything looks correct. Because remember, we don't ever want to pay in at the end of the year. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do is look. Okay, so her gross pay is $600. There's her net pay. So we don't have to do anything there. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to check my Social Security. Okay, well remember how to get your Social Security. You take your gross pay, so that's $600, and you times it. Remember, Social Security is 6.2%, so times it by 0.062. Okay, that gives me $37.20. If I look here, that looks correct. Perfect. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look at my Medicare. So again, I'm taking my gross pay. Medicare is 1.45%, so 0.0145. And this is $8.70. Okay, so that looks good. Next thing we'll look at is state. Okay, well, I know that her state income tax is 1.5% of the gross pay, so our state income tax is 1.5, so I'm going to take 600 times 0.015, and I end up getting $37.20, so I know that's good. Oops, sorry. I was looking at the wrong number. I get $9, which matches up. Okay, she has $28.40 deducted for medical insurance. Okay, that's good. And $5 for charity. That is also good. If I were to look at my federal income tax table, okay, so we know that she gets her net pay is $485.70, and we know she's married and claims 3. So if I go ahead and look at my chart for federal income tax, back when we talked about 2.1, I would notice that this is also good. So the answer is yes. Angela's earnings statement does look correct. So let's go to example 2. So Zach is a single airline ticket agent who claims one allowance. His gross weekly salary is $320. Each week, he has deducted federal, Social Security, and Medicare taxes, $26.20 for medical insurance, 1.5% for state taxes, and $25 for the credit union. What is his weekly net pay? Okay, so let's start here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have my federal income tax. Okay, so single and claims one, and I know the salary is $320. So if I go ahead and look at my chart, okay, so I'm between $320 and $330, and then I'm going down claiming one. So my federal income tax should be $24 for the week. Now I'm going to find my state income tax. Okay, well, we know the gross is $320, and they get 1.5 for state taxes. So I'm going to take $320 and times it by 0.015. That's going to give me $4.80. Next thing I'm going to do is Social Security. So I have $320 and timesing it by 6.2%. That gives me $19.84. Now I'm going to go ahead and do Medicare. So again, $320, Medicare's 1.45%. I get $4.64. And then I'm noticing here I have $25 for a credit union. Get taken out. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add everything up. So my total deductions okay, so again, how I got those, I'm going to add all 5 of these numbers up. And in that case, I get $104.48. So that's all the deductions that are coming out of my paycheck. So now to figure out my net pay, so remember to find your net pay. Your net pay is equal to your gross minus your deductions. So my gross was $320. I subtract my deductions of $104.48, and I get a grand total of $215.52. So that would be what my paycheck would reflect. And then I would just, again, I would go ahead and look to make sure is everything being taken out properly. Okay, so let's go to example 3. Okay, so here I would recommend that you try this on your own, pause the video, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, so let's go ahead and look. So the deduction from Dusty Ray's monthly pay are federal income tax of $98, state income tax of 3.5% of gross, city income tax of 1.5% of gross, Social Security, and Medicare. Her monthly net pay is $4,147.21. Find Dusty's monthly gross pay. Okay, so this one's actually a little bit more complicated, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by filling out what I know. Okay, so I know my federal income tax is $98. I know my state income tax, okay, is 3.5% of the gross. Okay, I have a city tax, and we do have city tax, is 1.5% of the gross. And then, of course, Social Security and Medicare. So Social Security is 6.2% of the gross, and your Medicare is 1.45% of the gross. Okay, so we know that. We know her monthly, we know the net is equal to $4,147.21. Find Dusty's monthly gross pay. So we're gonna let the gross pay, gross pay equal X. And now we're gonna have to set up an equation. So remember, our net is equal to our gross minus our deductions. Okay, so just because I'm gonna have to write a little bit more, I'm gonna head down here. So I'm gonna start with my net. So I know my net is $4,147.21 equals the gross. Well, we don't know the gross pay. That's what we're trying to find out. So that's X minus. Now I'm gonna go ahead and subtract my deductions. Now remember, all of these things right here are my deductions. So I'm gonna put this in parentheses because I'd be subtracting each one. So I have minus my federal income tax. So minus, that's 98. And if you remember from the previous problem, we added all of our deductions and subtracted that from our gross pay. So that's why I have that in parentheses. Okay, so my deductions are my federal income tax. Now I have my state income tax. Well, I know it's 3.5% of my gross. So how I would write that is 0.035x, because you times that by x, plus the city, so 0.015x, plus 0.062x, plus 0.0145x. Okay, so just kind of recapping, this is my net equals my gross minus, and then these are all my deductions. So usually we add all our deductions up and subtract that from our gross pay. Okay, so combining like terms, I'm going to bring this down. So I have $4,147.21 equals X minus, well here I get 98 plus 0.1265x. Okay, well, next I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute. So I'll bring this down, distributing the negative, so minus 98 minus 0.1265x. Combine like terms. So I get 0.8735x minus 98. I'm going to solve for that, so I'm going to add 98. So now I get $4,245.21 equals 0.8735x. Well, to solve for x, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.8735. And x is equal to $4,860. And this right here is my gross pay. Nice thing about this is I can check my answer. I could plug in this into X and see if I get $4,147.21 if I did it the other way. Okay. Let's look at our last example. So Jeffrey Ham is a telephone installer. He is married and claims 2 allowances. His state personal exemptions total $76.92 per week. The state tax rate is 3% of taxable income. Local income tax is 1.5% of gross. Medical insurance costs $1,940 a year, of which the company pays 60%. So now we're going to go ahead and fill this in. So on your test, you're going to have something identical to this that you're going to need to fill in. Okay, so if I'm looking here, I can't do my net pay yet because I need to get my deductions first. So your net pay is going to be the last thing that you do. So my federal income tax, so let's start there. Well, he's married and claims 2 allowances. If I go to my chart, again, I'm on the married and claims 2. If I line it up, we should have $39 for federal income tax. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is, we're going to keep looking. I know for Medicare, I have, so Medicare, so you have your $640, and I'm going to times that for Medicare. I times that by 0.0145. Okay, when I do that, I get $9.28. So I have $9.28. That's going to go there. For my FICA, FICA, just so you guys know, is another word for Social Security. So remember to get that. I would take my gross, which is $640, times it by 0.062. When I do that, I get $39.68. So this is going to go right here, $39.68. My state, okay, well, let's go back and look. So the state tax rate is 3% of my taxable income. Okay, well, so we're going to hold off on that because we're going to calculate that. We're going to just figure out to see if we can do easier first. So just hold off there. We're going to go to local. Well, my local is 1.5% of the gross. So I'm going to take 640 and times that by 0.015. That gives me $9.60. So $9.60. Medical insurance costs $19.40 a year, of which the company pays 60%. So if the company pays 60%, then I know I pay 40. So I'm going to take $19.40 and I'm going to times it by 0.40. This gives me $776. Now remember, that's for the year. I am filling this out per week, so I'm dividing this by 52. And I get $14.92. Okay, so there we have that. Okay, so union dues are on there for $4.50, and then other $7.50. So now we need to figure out our state. Okay, well, here I know his state personal exemptions total $76.92 per week. So I need to take 640 and subtract the $76.92, because remember we need to find that taxable wage. So that gives me $563.08. Okay, so now I can take that number there, so 563.08, and I'm going to times it by the state tax rate, which was 3%, so times it by 0.03. And this gives me $16.89. So $16.89. And now I can go ahead and I can find my net pay. So how I'm going to find my net pay is I need to add up every single deduction. So federal, FICA, Medicare, state, local, medical, union dues, and other. So when I add every single one of those up, my total deductions are $141.37. And then to find my net pay, remember your net is equal to your gross minus your deductions. So my gross was $640. I'm subtracting $141.37. So my total net pay is $478.63. So remember, with the net, that is the last thing that you can do. So 478.63. Okay, well, that is it. So this is a great lesson because this summarizes everything that we have done. And again, if you have any questions, make sure you ask. Have a great day.